The meeting of the Subcommittee number 5 of the House General Laws Committee will now come to order. Members will indicate their presence by pressing green on the electronic voting system. Thank you, members. A quorum is present. Welcome to Subcommittee number 5. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate y'all. We have a full room today. So just a few brief reminders. As chairwoman, it is my responsibility to maintain order and decorum. So please make sure that you all maintain that so that this subcommittee can continue its work and conduct it efficiently and effectively. I expect all discourse and testimony before the subcommittee to remain respectful and civil at all times. Please make sure that I do not have to repeat that. And then also for those with signs in the audience, please note that it is against the rules to hold them up. So you can just please keep them down and then make sure that you direct all of your comments through the chair. So now that we have that out of the way, we have one bill on the docket. And after the patron has presented their bill, I will take questions from the subcommittee, and then I will open up for public testimony. So we have HB 1272 by Delegate Hayes. And Delegate Hayes, if you can approach the podium. I know we have a subcommittee substitute, but I'll have you explain your bill first, and then I'll explain the substitute when it's before us after you're done presenting your bill. Delegate Hayes.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, members of the committee. We're certainly happy to be here today to present to you House Bill 1272. As you know and realize, this has been an issue that we've dealt with for a few years now here in the General Assembly, and certainly last session we moved very close to where we believe is in the best interest of the citizens of the Commonwealth of Virginia. In that legislation that we had last session, we were able to pull together and negotiate some areas that were acceptable and agreeable, just some fundamental tenets of that piece of legislation happened to be that the enforcement would come by way of ABC, that the tax rate would come down. I think we got somewhere near 25% or so. There was a ridiculous ask of the governor administration of a 35-mile radius around any casino that the skill games could not actually operate. Obviously, there was not many places in the Commonwealth where the machines actually would have been allowed. And so all that to say, Madam Chair, members of the committee, many of those items, those things, we were able to come to some agreement. If you look at the bill that's companion bill, which is in the Senate, that bill has moved through successfully and even was referred to Senate Finance. And there, I believe it's passed out of there and on its way to us. Because of what we've seen as a substitute as late as 11:24 last night is the email stamp time. Waking up this morning at 4 o'clock to see that was quite a surprise. I'm not sure what that is. But all that to say, Madam Chair, members of the committee, we hope that the conversations can continue in good faith, and we'll continue those discussions. And if need be, we'll move forward with this particular legislation in an agreed upon form today, and then hopefully we can continue the conversations to get it in its best form. I know after meeting some people on the elevator this afternoon, I just have to touch on the fact that one of the things we learned about these machines is the different focus, the different clientele who utilize skill machines are not necessarily the same individuals who prepare themselves to head out to the casino. And another point, Madam Chair, members of the committee, I have to make is the 1 year that we regulated skill games here in the Commonwealth of Virginia under then Governor Northam, we generated for the Commonwealth some $130 million for the Commonwealth. That was only for 1 year, and then those regs came off until we can actually come together and, agree upon what those regulations ought to look like. All that, Madam Chair, members of the committee, we just ask for your support of this legislation to help the Commonwealth move forward. Our police departments are asking for, give us something to regulate by. Our Commonwealth's attorneys, give us something to go after these 70,000 machines all over the Commonwealth right now where these folks are operating. And guess how much the Commonwealth gets in revenue? A goose egg. The Commonwealth is getting nothing. Madam Chair, members of the committee, I ask for your support.
Thank you, Delegate Hayes. And Delegate Hayes, we have a subcommittee substitute that is similar to what we passed out of here in 2024. Do I hear a motion to move the substitute?
Move this subcommittee substitute.
The substitute has been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, the substitute is before us, and I'll run down some of the high-level details of what is included in the substitute, so everyone be patient because it's a little bit long. First, the substitute better defines the definition of electronic gaming device. It also defines and puts some guardrails around where the games may be operated and how many. I know that in the original bill, the substitute actually cuts in half how many electronic gaming devices would be approved. It also addresses some concerns with regard to where this would be located relative to where casinos are, addressing some underlying labor concerns in terms of impacting jobs, which I'm sure we'll hear later. And then this also reduces the number of establishments that are licensed to have these games, who are licensed to sell alcoholic beverages, and then also reduces the maximum number of games and truck stops. Also, what's new is no gaming devices within 1,000 feet of any public, private school offering instruction to children in kindergarten through grade 12 or on any child daycare center. And then also really important is distributor licenses required to install an electronic identification terminal at each host location that verifies the player's age through a scanning of valid driver's license or state-issued identification card. And then next, this is extremely important to me and my community, and I know many others who have some concerns with skill games in general. It would include local government restrictions, it would require a passage of a local referendum on the question of whether electronic gaming devices shall be permitted in the locality. So it would require a referendum limited to no more than once every 3 years in a locality. Which I think is extremely important for a local choice with regard to these. Also, there will be some responsible gaming language. There will be some advertising limitations, an independent laboratory review, and then there will be stronger licensing and application considerations. Also, expands on reasons for denial, suspension, revocation. There will be voluntary exclusion program, central monitoring system, and then also with regard to taxation, it would change it to 40% versus the $800 per. And then moving to minimum age requirement, which I think is extremely important as well, must be 21 plus to play, and there is a penalty with regard to violating that. And then there are enactment clauses, a delayed effective date to next year, January 1st, 2027, and provisions of the bill will expire on January 1st, 2030. And so that is an abridged version of what the substitute looks like. It is online for those of you who want to read. And then the goal with this substitute, just like in 2024, is to put some very strong and strict guardrails on an unregulated and therefore dangerous market that's present in Virginia today. Again, that is not regulated. So I will take it back to I'll take it to the members of the subcommittee to see if there are any questions or comments regarding this bill. Delegate Simon.
Madam Chair, I just want to confirm a couple of things about this. I think you did a great summary, but just a little more detail. I know that Delegate Hayes was concerned about the radius away from a casino. I think this version of the bill is a 15-mile radius as opposed to the 40-mile radius. So I don't know if that helps or not. Does that sound right, Madam Chair?
That's correct, Delegate
Okay.
Simon.
And then I think it's worth, if your folks are taking a look at the tax rate. I know I've got another bill on gaming, and there's some concern about the effect that would have on the lottery. So I see that there's some money that goes to the lottery and into the gaming regulatory fund. And there's, again, a piece of that tax that makes sure it goes to the problem gaming treatment fund, to 5% of that 40. And some other folks that get some sweeteners in here too. So I think it's something that is worth looking at. I know it's contributed a lot during the pandemic. I think what we're doing too is we want to make sure, to the extent that this is not I don't think it's a zero-sum game necessarily, but to the extent that this is, we're taking from the same pie, we want to make sure that we hold some of these other funds harmless with the bill. So I think those are positive aspects of this. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Delegate Simon. Delegate McLaughlin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just have a real quick question. Would this have any tax implications on our folks that have charitable gaming licenses?
Council.
Madam Chair, Delegate McLaughlin, can you repeat your question, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. Would this have any tax implications for the organizations that currently hold a charitable gaming license?
Madam Chair, Delegate McLaughlin, this bill does not extend electronic gaming devices to charitable gaming organizations. So, no, I don't believe that, if I'm understanding your question correctly, I don't believe that they would have any negative implications from this bill.
Thank you, Delegate McLaughlin. All right, anyone else on the subcommittee? All right, so we'll move to public testimony. Each side will have 15 minutes in total, not per person. In the interest of time, please do not repeat what has already been said. If you do not get to say everything that you want to say today, you may submit your full statement to us in writing for us to read over and refer back to. So if we can have folks line up at the podium in support of the bill. And then once you begin speaking, we'll start the timer for 15 minutes.
Hello, my name is Brent Click. I work with a company called East Coast Amusements here in Central Virginia. We're a family-owned business, and we support advancing this bill.
Thank you. Next.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and honorable member of the General Assembly. My name is Vaibhav Bhatt, and I'm here speaking on behalf of the 7-Eleven Franchise Association of Virginia, representing local franchisee owners across the Commonwealth. For many of us, skill games are not luxury. They are a lifeline with rising rent, wages, utilities, and inflation. This income often makes the difference between staying open or shutting down. We are already seeing the consequences. Stores are closing. Franchisees who spend years to build their business are being forced to return their stores back to corporate because they can no longer survive financially. These are family-owned business, not faceless corporations. We are not asking for no regulation. We support reasonable oversight and accountability. What we are asking for is balance, so small business can survive, employee can keep their jobs, and community don't lose essential neighborhood stores. Please consider the real human cost of this bill. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Next. You can move a little closer.
I'm Rachel Albritton. I'm here on behalf of the Virginia Merchants and Amusement Coalition, which represents hundreds of small businesses, including restaurants and bars across Virginia, and we support advancing the bill. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next.
Hey, good afternoon. Mike O'Connor with Virginia Petroleum and Convenience Marketers. Thank you to Delegate Hayes for his longstanding support of the industry. I think we're going to be hearing something about good jobs today. And I want to talk just briefly about that. Convenience stores in Virginia, there are 5,620, and they employ 69,359 employees. You look at the limitations that are set forth in the legislation on the number of machines, 4 in convenience stores. I don't know if it's still 10. There was some discussion about that was reduced in the substitute, but I don't know. But if we're talking about supporting Virginia small business, we support Virginia collect in excess of $1.8 billion in fuels tax a year. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Rachel Macy, representing the Virginia Asian American Store Owners Association. On behalf of the 1,500 convenience stores in the Commonwealth, we also support the bill in advancing the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Those in opposition of the bill, please come to the podium. You have 15 minutes total.
Thank you, Chairwoman McClure, for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Michael Hashi. I'm the Research and Policy Director for the gaming industry for Unite Here. We're the largest casino workers union in Virginia and throughout the country. We're here today to oppose the legalization of skill games because this will put good union jobs in Virginia's casinos at risk. Our members who traveled here today from Danville and from Bristol work in the casino industry as hotel housekeepers, as servers, as bartenders, as cooks, as dishwashers and cleaning staff. The key driver of employment in the gaming industry is not the gaming machines alone, but it's the investments being made right now by responsible gaming operators in the hotels, the restaurants, the retail stores, the conference centers, the event spaces. This is what's producing thousands of good union jobs in this industry. The leading examples are the responsible investments in Danville and Bristol. We should be looking to Illinois as a cautionary example, where now tens of thousands of gaming machines are legal at over 8,000 locations throughout the state. It has been a dramatic and radical change in the industry, and today the state's traditional casinos on average produce 27% fewer jobs each. We cannot risk losing 1 in 4 good union jobs in Virginia's still developing casino industry. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next.
Madam Chair, I'm Joanne Smith, representing the Veterans of Foreign Wars for the Department of Virginia, and we stand in opposition to this bill.
Thank you so much. Next.
Thank you, Chairwoman McClure. Hello, my name is Cheryl Tucker. I am a front desk agent at Caesar, Virginia and Danville. I am so proud that last year, my co-workers and I, we organized a union at the Caesars for fairness, dignity, and respect. I get emotional. My casino job also allowed me to afford my health insurance. I, just like others, have underlying health conditions. So this helped me to deal with the health insurance, and it is very critical to me. Union victories like ours are rare in Virginia right now. With our union contract, we set a standard that allows us to afford the cost of life and being present for our family and our community. Skill games. It does not invest in our community, and it does not create jobs. Skill games put the new standards that me and my coworkers have fought for at risk. I'm asking, please, please, don't gamble with our lives. We cannot afford to go backwards. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next.
Thank you, Chairwoman McClure. My name is Joseph Bowman. I am a server. I work at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Bristol, Virginia. So Bristol is a very rural and small community, and there aren't very many opportunities for hospitality workers like myself. And there's a few reasons why I do not support the skill games. Not only will they not create any new jobs, but also I have no doubt that they will significantly impact the business at the casino that I work at. And as a server, I'm a tipped employee, so I rely on tips. My income is completely dependent on how much business the casino gets. And if people are able to go gambling in their local convenience store, I have no doubt that business will significantly decrease. I'm also a student. I'm currently paying off my student loans, as well as trying to save up money to go back to school, finish my degree, and I fear that those dreams. I will not be able to pursue them if business slows down. And so that being said, I ask that you please stand with us workers and prioritize job creation in our communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the subcommittee. Rena Hicks with Freedom Virginia. We do oppose the legislation. If the argument for skill games is revenue, then we owe Virginians some honesty. Even the most optimistic projections show that this is a rounding error in a state budget of our size. There are better avenues for raising revenue that don't involve preying on our most vulnerable communities. During their brief period of legalization between 2020 and 2021, 70% of skill games were placed in zip codes with household incomes below the state median of $87,000. Additionally, this sets a really bad precedent of how we conduct business in our Commonwealth. The largest skill game operator in Virginia did not come to the General Assembly first. They came in their own rules, placed machines across the Commonwealth in direct violation of existing law, and then dared you all to catch up. They circumvented the legislative process, ignored the will of this body, and created a mess that you are now being asked to clean up retroactively. If we allow companies to break the law first and lobby later, we send a clear message that compliance is optional. We ask that you oppose the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. David Jones with the Virginia Moose Lodges Association. We are the largest institutional user of Virginia's charitable gaming laws. We oppose this bill for many reasons. Number one, because it drains charitable contributions and charitable gaming. It drains funds we use to support our communities and our lodges. The patron just said that there are 70,000 machines operating right now. That's 70,000 machines operating in defiance of the state ban. How can we even think about rewarding companies that are acting in defiance of the state ban? I think it's ridiculous, and I appreciate you hearing us all out.
Thank you. Next.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, my name is Dr. Michael Huffman. I'm the Executive Director of the Virginia Assembly of Independent Baptists, and let's be clear, with most gambling, the only way the House wins is if the hardworking people of Virginia lose. While the Commonwealth pockets revenue from addiction, families get poorer. Studies show that around 30% of those with gambling addictions contemplate suicide, and 15% of those actually attempt it. And those rates are far higher than with other addictions. We've already seen an explosion of growth in the problem gambling calls, up nearly 1,000% since 2019. We don't need, Madam Chair, to exploit the hardworking people of Virginia for revenue. True economic support means fair wages, affordable housing, and real opportunities, not turning corner stores into mini casinos and draining the pockets and push people toward more tragedy. One of the things that the patron said that I would agree with is that the clientele that goes to a skill games are different than those that go to a casino. He's absolutely right. The people that go to a skill games are usually poorer and need to be there less. So we ask you respectfully, please do not report this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee. Steve Rossi, representing the Family Foundation of Virginia, and we renew our longtime opposition to skill games and all gambling. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next.
Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee, Ben Trainham with Hancock, Daniel, and Johnson on behalf of the United Company in Bristol, Virginia, and also speaking today on behalf of the casino operators in Bristol, Danville, Portsmouth, and Norfolk. Collectively, we've invested over $2 billion in the state. And we believe that skill games will undercut that investment and also undercut the job growth that we anticipate moving forward. For those reasons, we oppose the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Aaron Palmer with Churchill Downs. As many as you know, we are newer to the Commonwealth. We've been here for about 3 years. We've invested over $1 billion and have doubled race days out at Colonial Downs. We would ask that you all oppose this bill so we can continue to protect our investments. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up.
Madam Chair, John Hannum with the Virginia Equine Alliance. We too oppose this bill. Great efforts have been made in recent years advancing the horse racing industry in Virginia, and we feel that the skill games will set that back and erode funds rolling into the industry for the horse industry, which also benefits the agricultural industry. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, moving to online comment, and you'll have 1 minute each. And as I call you, please make sure that your camera is on, and also state if you're for or against in your remarks. So we'll start with Faye Willard. All right, not online. All right, so I see the Honorable John Taylor Chapman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I hope you can hear me. Again, my name is John Chapman. I'm from the city of Alexandria. And on behalf of the city, we respectfully oppose HB 1272. This legislation attempts to build a regulatory regime around a predatory product that exploits many small businesses in our community. In fact, one such Alexandria business owner was misled into hosting these machines in his restaurant. He did not make any money from it, but he did face criminal charges, fines, and financial harm. You can look that up online. The small business owner and the community in which the machine operated paid the price, but the manufacturers were able to walk away. So-called skill games are lose-lose-lose for the business owner, the customer, and particularly our community. We urge you to oppose HB 1272. And while we do oppose it, I appreciate the conversation that's happened today around some of the local options.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman. Next up, we have Matt Royer.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. My name is Matt Royer. I am from Herndon, Virginia. I am here speaking in opposition of this bill. Herndon, where I grew up, over the past couple of years, I've seen these machines pop up in convenience stores, barbershops, and local businesses. For example, there is a 7-Eleven on the corner of Eldon and Alabama. And those who know where that is know that that is where a lot of folks look for day labor, and it's a neighborhood that has a massive immigrant population. And since these machines have popped up, the guys get off of work on Friday and are paid in cash and go into these 7-Elevens and pump whatever money they have into them. These machines and gambling writ large, for that matter, are nothing but another tax on working families in Virginia and communities like mine. So I'm asking you to oppose this bill and vote it down. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Royer. Next, we have Mark Maggio.
Yes, Madam Chairman, thank you. My name is Mark Maggio. I am the Senior Vice Commander of the Department of Virginia VFW. The VFW respectfully asks that the committee vote no on House Bill 1272. Legalizing these machines hurts our efforts to fundraise through legal charitable gaming. And I believe as a citizen of Virginia, we cannot reward illegal behavior. So please vote no on skill games.
All right, next up we have Mr. Sinchik.
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee. Before I begin, may I ask if you received the report that I uploaded when I registered to speak?
Yes, Mr. John, you have 50 seconds, so if you can complete your testimony so we can move back to the subcommittee.
Yes. So I'm a professor and criminologist, Dr. John Sensich. I'm from Page County, and I don't take a position one way or another on the bill, but if you want those rail guards around this, there are some problems in the legislation that I'd like to point out, and I'll do so very briefly. On line 78, the predominant skill should be changed to elements of skill or chance, because that's what these devices are. And if that's not changed, the devices, the way that the legislation is written right now, would still be subject to seizure under state and federal law, the Federal Gambling Device Act of 1962.
Thank you, Mr. Sinchik. Appreciate your testimony. We'll have to take it back to the members of the subcommittee, but before I do that, I'll go to the patron, Delegate Hayes. Do you have any final words?
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Just a few points I want to make. Just know that on the 15-mile radius, this is not a tweak. It's a de facto shutdown for many of those small businesses because 15 miles, I'll just give the example of the Portsmouth casino, would eliminate in either one of the cities, Chesapeake, For the most part, there's a truck stop within those 15 miles. And across the city of Portsmouth, it would completely ban it from the Portsmouth market, period. When it comes to skill games and small business survival, for many small businesses and small family-owned stores, the revenue helps to cover payroll, helps offset rising insurance premiums. It helps provide health insurance for the employees. And on the jobs at risk argument, Madam Chair, members of the committee, please understand that with those 70,000 machines operating today, if there was a threat to the jobs, those jobs would already be threatened because these people are operating today. And so with that, Madam Chair, we would like to continue this conversation and see how we can better this substitute.
Thank you, Delegate Hayes. And before I take it back to the subcommittee, I just want to thank everyone for their passionate testimony, for their honest and candid feedback, and then also for everyone who has shared a personal story and how they would be impacted by this legislation. Personally, it is because of this conversation that I've heard today that I personally will keep it going with the stricter guardrails, or the conversation moving, that we have literally just placed on this bill. Like I said at the beginning of the meeting, we have a number of guardrails that will help to regulate this dangerous market because it's currently unregulated. So today we heard meaningful disagreements about such fundamental issues like community impact, economic well-being, impact on jobs. And so my vote today isn't proof on where I stand personally on this topic. It's proof that the conversation around those guardrails and around those stricter regulations are really important, and that has to continue. So that voices can be heard and that we can have that healthy dialogue. So I thank everyone again for testifying and look forward to the discussions in the days ahead. And with that, I'll take it back to the subcommittee. Delegate Simon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And a similar sentiment. I actually wonder, who I upset to get put on the subcommittee, because however I vote today, it seems like I want to upset everybody. I think nobody's really happy with this particular substitute and where it stands now. I hear the patrons not thrilled with some of the things we've put in here. I think that some folks in the audience are not thrilled with some of the things we've done, that we're going as far as we are. And I've got some recent experience in this space, in the gaming space, with another bill, and we've continued that conversation up in the 14th floor, and so I know it's going to be part of the mix. I guess what I'd like to say is that we are having a larger conversation here in the Commonwealth, and we're dealing with where do we want to go with gaming generally, whether it be gambling, whether it be games of skill, whether it be the physical plant in casinos, whether it's happening online or in smaller settings. And so I think this is an important part of that larger discussion. I don't think we should exclude this particular item from that larger discussion that we're having here as a General Assembly. I do want to address a couple of things that came up in the testimony. And again, I know it's frustrating because these substitutes, people have had weeks to read the bill, and all of a sudden it's a completely different substitute that comes up. But the concern about mini casinos, I think we've heard that, and I think we agree with that. I think you'll notice that in the substitute, there's a restriction of 2 games per establishment. So this is not really meant to be a little mini casino. And there's also something we haven't talked about. I just want folks to hear about this. The bill includes a maximum wager per play of $1 and a maximum payout for a single play of a game of $500. So we're not talking about people instantly losing their fortune. Again, I know some of the folks, the proponents say that's way too low. We can't actually make that work. But I just think it's important that we know that we're trying to keep these folks true to what they're supposed to be, right? It's a diversion. It's something to get folks into the store. It's a supplemental thing. And hopefully people aren't going to be losing their entire family fortune $1 at a time in these. And again, we've got a strict licensing process that goes through. And there's a 3-tiered licensing. You'll have manufactured licenses for the folks making the machines. The machines themselves will be subject to testing and authentication. So when they say, look, it's a game of skill, you have just as good a chance to win. It's not rigged. That's going to be proven out in the testing, or it won't, and the machines wouldn't be allowed. You have distributors and then host locations. And the locations themselves have to go through some licensing requirements as well. So we know that we've got good operators there that aren't going to let just anyone play with the machine. So I know that feels like a lot of maybe overblown there, but it gives us some good reasons to keep the bill going forward. And I hope there'll be some things that you'll consider, Delegate Hayes, as we go forward. And then ultimately the local option piece. And again, that may or may not be a killer for folks, but for the localities that are concerned about it, it would be up to the voters to decide whether they want to have them there. And that's something we heard from the casinos and other places in years past that they were on. Why did we have to go through this referendum process and the skill games folks don't? So we tried to level the playing field there. So I think there's a lot to be liked about the substitute. Some people just aren't going to like this at all. And frankly, a lot of folks, two different flavors. I'll stop talking soon, I promise. But you two different flavors of opposition. You got the folks that think gambling is terrible, and the other folks say, like, no, my form of gambling, it's frankly just market protection. I just want to protect my piece of the pie. And so we have all that to weigh, and it's a lot for us to do in a very short session. But I think we'll commit to having an honest conversation about these things and figuring out where the balance is, where the right balance is. Thank you, Delegate Hayes, for bringing the bill.
Yes, I think that's exactly right, Delegate Simon. So I appreciate that, especially about the local referendum portion and leaving it up to the voters. So anyone else on the subcommittee have any questions or comments? With that, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to report and refer to appropriations with substitute.
All right, the motion on HB 1272 is to report with substitute and refer to appropriations, and the motion has been seconded. The clerk will open the roll so that members can cast their vote. All right. The clerk will close the roll. All right, that bill is recommended to report with a substitute and referred to appropriations on a vote of 6-1. And thank you, Delegate Hayes. That completes the work of Subcommittee number 5 today, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Meeting's adjourned.